just talked to people that were there last night and saw it with their own eyes. Anybody there last night that Adam can copy and paste and share with people? Because I want people to know about it. Because today I think it's going to be the last day that I offer at this price. So let's if we will, if you were there last night and you saw what I'm talking about, it's a simple way to learn how to operate your platform, how to put your orders in, how to protect yourself. Easy to follow. It really is something everybody here ought to be part of. I'm going to teach it, but I'll tell you, I will warn you, I'm not going to do it at this price forever. Today might be my last day offer at this price, so we'll get there. But anyway, that's the story. Markets got above 67.25, topped out this morning a little bit, but that's normal. You know, the market goes up, it goes down, but the bottom line is you got to be able to roll with the punches. And we did a great job setting out for the 72 hours, and then we started in, and you know, everything's a picture of beauty, so to speak. Started last night at 9 o'clock. So there's risk involved in trading. I always talk about risk first. You got to worry about risk because this is not something that anybody can just do. You got to learn. You got to educate yourself. In my opinion, if you listen to me, learn what I wanted to teach you and save you a whole bunch of money, because I lost a bunch learning this stuff. I call it the school of hard knocks. Probably the best education anybody can ever get, getting beaten up like I have all those years to learn this. And I've got the numbers, I got the steps, I keep it simple. Anybody can do it if they make their mind up to do it. Now, this is our weekly newsletter. It comes out, it's $9.99 for a year. I give it away, really. The only reason we charge you $9.99 just to say, hey, you put up $9.99 for a year. Anyway, go look in there where I was talking about Treasury bonds this week and go take a look at Treasury bonds. That's an example. Now, the Retirement Center. I'm helping people with a retirement account. All you have to do is sign on here. There's no charge for this at all. I'm just sharing what I'm doing in my retirement account. That's pretty valuable. And we're just hitting it and having a lot of fun together. You've got a Telegram channel you can join. All you got to do is click that button. If you're not a member of the retirement account, become a member. If you want a referral, you go to DTI Trader and go to row at DTI Trader and you'll get a referral. It's pretty simple to do. He'll send it to you, but use DTI if he doesn't return your referral. But everybody needs to be in my group with Tasty Trade, because I'm going to go to Chicago and work out a great deal for our group. But we got to have numbers to do that. And right now we're about 350. I'd like to get it to 1,000 before I make that trip. Now here is the gold program. We talk about this. You don't want to spend $25,000, $30,000 to find out what I'm saying, when I'm doing it, and how I'm doing it. Join our gold program. You talk to one of our salespeople, dtitrader.com/gold. They'll help navigate you, and we're feeling good, so get involved. Apply for gold right now. Train and trade. We do this every day at 11 o'clock, free of charge. Messed up my golf game to do this. I don't play golf anymore at 11. So I do this every day at 11, like a radio show. I'm here every day at 11. Now, T-Buzz Talking Trade, 24 hours. You ought to read what's in there for 24 hours. You'll never say you want to miss that. Guess what? Guess what? The number one stock that I picked today to make money, GLD. Go take a look at GLD. Big part of TNT. Find out what I'm going to pick tomorrow. Discipline, the art of trading. Trading is an art that requires process and discipline. This is not something you just, hey, I'm buying this, I'm buying that. You got to have a plan. I'll show you a plan that works. I use it. Starts on Sunday night, takes you through the week. I got a 20-step checklist for trading. Let's go through it. The monthly open is the most important metric of any ticker. So if you say, hey, let's go buy this stock, I'm going to look at the monthly open. Very easy to find. The first trade day of the month, see where things open at. If it's above that, pretty simple, you might consider buying it. If it's below that, you want to hands off. The monthly open is key. This is the monthly open for the S&P at 67.25. We're at 67.52. We just turned back positive. I told you Trump would keep everybody messed up for about 72 hours. We go into hands off the mouth stage. And now today we start making money again. That's the way it works. Understand the power of our 3-day algo. Click it. You'll see things start turning positive now that we're above. If we close above the 67.25. Write that number down, 67.25. Should do it today. Learn my reference bar analysis. This is a white paper. I give it away. Somebody ought to say, Tom, quit giving that stuff away. But I want you to be smart traders where you don't make the mistakes most people make. Get this. Ask questions about it when we meet. Train and trade. I'll be glad to answer any question anybody puts in here. Now, this is the reference bars. Look at it, 30 minutes. You can see what's happening right there. It's telling you to go higher. That's exactly what happened last night. We went long. We were buyers last night. While everybody else was sleeping, we were setting up to make money. Frame the market intraday with the RB frame prior to reference bars. There it is. This frame here tells you the ballpark you're playing in. If it's above that frame, you ought to be a buyer on any ticker you plug in to our magical software, I call it. Been working on it for 25 years. 2-bar analysis is go to the daily first. If the daily's bullish, then you go to the 30-minute and take positive reference bars. Is that too hard to remember? If the daily's bullish, go to the 30-minute and take positive reference bars. There's 7 reference bars during the day. Around the globe, you can trade with this approach. And guess what? You'll do a lot better than most of those people out there thinking they know what they're talking about. 30-minute chart, bullish. 5-day high, 5-day low. I use this to set risk-reward numbers and targets. 2-day high and 2-day low, same thing, risk-reward and targets. I use DTI TP if you open that up. DTI. Understand your trading platform. You got to understand your trading platform. This is something very difficult. Years ago, people would take time and learn all that stuff, but now they give you videos. What we try to do in our programs is take the platform and show you how we use it, where you can use it the way we use it, okay? That's the way we do it. Numbers ladder on E-mini, roadmap links, weekly, pre-market planners, and daily. Under the roadmap, we have links. These are the best places you can go to get key information. For example, if you're wondering what the probability is the Fed's going to cut interest rates at the next Fed meeting, go to our roadmap. It'll tell you. Would you think 80% would be a good probability they're going to lower rates? I would. Here's our pre-market planner published every day under links. Pre-market planner gives you a numbers ladder. Look there at the numbers ladder. See those numbers to the left there? Basically saying the next stop, if you look at the current market, is 57. Go look at the E-mini today. Look where it is. It's 67.47 right now. Support 67.34. Very easy to follow, very easy to use. You got to have a plan. And you got to limit personal transactions. For example, you've got a doctor's appointment. Do you want to have trades on, high-risk trades on in a doctor's appointment? I don't. So you got to plan your week. Here's the key times for all the different markets. Stocks open at 8 o'clock at night, close at 7:45. Futures open at 6 p.m., close at 5. Options open at 9:30, close at 4. Indexes that have more than a day to expiration go to 4:15. Pretty good information to have. You need to know this. You don't have to wait to 9:30 to get in a trade if you know about this. There's 5 major economic reports: PPI, CPI, GDP, and PCE. Fed meetings, there's 8 Fed meetings a year. We got 2 more this year. Well, 2 more. Go there and they'll give you a list of all the Fed meetings and what they talked about if you want to read it. January, April, July, and October are the key prime months of the year. You got to pay attention to the market. Sets the tone for the quarter. Likely crash months. If the market's going to crash, it's going to happen in March in October historically? Well, we're in October. We've got a few more days, we'll be out of October. Doesn't look like we're crashing. VIX futures, this is how I follow the fear gauge. This is the fear gauge. It's warnings of market turmoil. When it's greater than 20, you got to be nervous about the market. You can follow it right here on your platform and be ready to go. My roadmap, there's only 4 simple patterns you got to learn. If you want to be at 67% or more on every trade, learn these 4 patterns. Buy signal, buy failure, sell signal, sell failure. That's what a buy signal looks like. You got a penetration bar and a confirmation bar. Everybody see that? Then you got the buy failure where it goes into the buy zone and fails and breaks the other end of that bar. Then it goes to the target to the downside. These are great trades when you catch a buy failure or a sell failure. There's a sell signal, just like the opposite of a buy signal. And then the sell failure is where it goes down, trying to go down, reverses, and then goes to the target the other side. If you'll learn these 4 patterns, use my software, you will find yourself growing your account, and that's the reason you're here. Pivot numbers. I started out every day with the pivot number. My pivot number today was 67.25, and guess what? We're above it. What's happening to the market? We're going higher. Is that simple? Straightforward. Risk boils down to how accurate you are. If you can be 70 or 80% accurate with your plays, you got lower risk. Think about that. Wouldn't you rather be accurate than sort of flipping a coin? Now, I want to talk about futures first. This is something I'm really putting a push on because of the success. I just taught T-Buzz 3-step. How many of you, I want you to answer me, how many of you could remember 3 main steps to make money every night at 9 o'clock? How many people could be available at 9 to do that? Okay. That's what we did last night. We've been working on. We got the tapes ready to go. Look what Roger sent me. The T-Buzz 3-step last night was like Babe Ruth. If you're a baseball fan, this is a pretty good compliment. This is like Babe Ruth standing at home plate, pointing to the center field fence with his bat and calling this shot. Last night I told people exactly how to make money, what to do, what the setup looked like. I've been getting love letters all morning because people now had their eyes open how simple it can be. Not confusion, but simple. You know, my experience goes way back when I used to own a brokerage firm. I've been a member of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the largest exchange in the world. I've lived and breathed futures, and it's just one part of stock and options, learning futures. I was part of the team that brought the German DAX to America, traveled the country, telling everybody they ought to have a DAX trading account. We brought it to the U.S. Brokerage firms used it, and then the institutions got involved, and that's who took it over. I still trade the DAX. I was a key marketer for the CME and CBO for different products they had throughout my career. It was an honor to do that. And of course, this is the big one. I was one of only 50 people in the entire world that received a Globex terminal, which was the forerunner to electronic trading. Folks, one of 50 outside of Chicago that had one of those machines when they were thinking about electronic trading. Now, the Futures Plus education session is getting bigger and better. Because the market was in turmoil this week, I cut the prices. All the sessions are recorded. We can go back, ask questions, and learn. I believe in education. Here's some of the stories. Learning futures from Tom was a crown his account needed and showed him how to grow it through the educational process. David just said he made $2,300 last night, so I guess he's doing pretty good. Learning futures from Tom has grown his account. That's a fact. Bill said, known me for 15 plus years, if you want to learn futures, and you should learn futures, even if you don't trade futures, because this is what moves the market. Makes you look like you're pretty smart among your friends when you tell them what it's going to do, and it doesn't, doesn't it? The futures are first. Ron sent this letter. Using my pivot number keeps him long, short, or out. That's the decision you have to make as a trader. Here's a list of some of the classes we've held. They go extensive. We're adding classes every Monday night at 7. Gold options, how valuable was that? I got love letters coming from that. You see gold making record highs? If you want to learn how to trade gold, be in my futures class. Silver, same way. Crude oil. Now, I've been telling you crude oil's dropping this year. Look, go check crude oil. It's down 15% this year. That's a pretty good call. Silver. I love silver. So does David, right? Bonds. I told you interest rates were going to fall. Now they're starting to fall. I got a 1% strategy to take advantage of that. There's just so much to do and so little time to get there. I have tools that help you. My roadmap software, the MTI intraday scanner helps. Training's on Monday night, and now I've started posting at 9 the setup for the T-Buzz 3-step to make sure everybody learns it. You got to learn this. Do the math on it. Do the math on that. It's just incredible. Now, the cost for my service is $1,749 for an annual. We'll return to that price. So here's the last chance. Because of this market turmoil, I wanted to get people in the T-Buzz 3-step. I said, get signed up now at this heavily discounted price, $1,249 today, limited time offer. Any questions? I went through this pretty fast. If you want to watch this, I think they're going to replay it in detail. But I'll tell you one thing, folks. Don't be anywhere else but at 9 o'clock with me tonight after Wednesday on the web. That's all I got. Anybody got any questions? Okay. Well, Adam, it's yours. I'm going to turn it over to you and we'll go from there. Thank you very much.
Days of victory, not every trade a goal.
If you think about it, we dropped like it will be reported higher and higher, and we made a nice weekend side hustle trade, didn't we? Who made that trade on the weekend side hustle? Wasn't that a great trade we made Friday? Sort of loved it myself. Weekend side hustle. 5 insights for this market. Follow the E-mini futures. How many people have heard me say follow the E-mini futures? The reason I say that, folks, is because the E-mini futures, 75% of all stocks will trade with the E-mini futures. And if the E-mini futures is moving higher, $67.25. Remember that number. Key numbers. All right, I'm going to give you some numbers here that will help you navigate the current market. Y'all ready? Let me give it to you. We'll start at the low end, 6,600, 6,600, 6,632. 66.45, 66.75, 66.95, 67.25. That'll take you to that last one is the monthly open. You can navigate any market using those numbers right there. Okay? Those are the numbers I'll be using until we break out of that range. Everybody got those numbers? Number 4, plan your trade. If you do a trade, here's what you got to know. Where are you going to enter it, right? I.e., if I'm going to enter the market to the long side, I got to know where I'm going to enter it. If I'm going to enter it to the short side, I got to know where I'm going to enter it. Okay? I got to know where I'm wrong. I got to know what my target is. Know the following. 55 points is the average true range. I mean, the S&P will move about 55 points on a normal day. Now, this is not a normal day. Okay? Got it? But 55 points is a ballpark number you need to know. That's planning your trade. Always use defined risk. Friday, when the market fell 170 S&P points from the high to the low, having a defined risk helps you keep your wits about you. Always, always have that exit door up front. That's why I like spreads. You play the market downside, use the put spread. Play the market at upside, you have a call spread. Use it. Defined risk will help you. This is important. Defined risk. Make sure anything in your account's got defined risk. You know if you lose totally what you're going to lose. Mistake I made in 1987. Let's go through the 10 questions I've been talking about. I thought these were good questions to be thinking about coming into the night. Did everybody see the questions posted in the rooms this weekend? Let me ask that question before I get started. The 10 questions. Okay. Number 1, what is the current state of the market? Turmoil. This is not a normal market. You don't see the market jack up a 1.5% and drop 3.5%. See, I would call it very unstable right now. Unstable markets lead to a lot of people losing a lot of money. The best thing to do, let it narrow, let that range narrow. But there's opportunity if you know what you're looking for. That's the current state of the market. What should you be watching? Here's what you should be watching. Those numbers I just gave you. I told you the current defined range, 66.32, 66.75. That's the current defined range for tonight. Okay? We have a tool inside the roadmap I'll use throughout this whole period. It's called the Money Maker. You'll see it posted sometime after 9 tonight. That's what you should be watching. When are the markets open? When are the stock markets or stocks open? Stocks are open right now. If you go look at your Schwab data feed, if you got a Schwab account, you will see stocks trading. How many people knew stocks were trading right now? This is something a lot of people don't know. They open at 8 o'clock. That's when stocks open. When are options open? Options on futures are open right now, but options on stock open at 9:30 tomorrow morning. 9:30 tomorrow morning. And they go to 4, some to 4:15. Okay? That's when options on equities are open. Options on futures are open right now. When do futures open? Futures open every night at 6 o'clock. It opened at 6 o'clock tonight. Futures have been trading for over 2 hours. That's when futures are open. Take notes. This is valuable information. This is what you need to know. What does the term limit down mean? Does everybody realize if the market sold off 7%, the market would stop trading? That's called limit down. 7%. That's the first stage of limit down. The second stage is approximately 10%, and the third stage is 20%. That's limit down. Okay? And there's the number. If We got down that low on the S&P that stopped trading. So I want you to know this stuff. What are numbers that help you understand trend? Reference bar numbers, RB1. RB1 is 66.32 to 66.75. That helps you understand the trend. We're trading inside that right now. And if you're trading inside that, that means it's spinning. Does everybody understand that concept? 66.32 to 66.75. Okay. How many people knew about the limit down? They have limit downs for stocks too, but if the market gets out of hand, they'll stop trade. That's what they learned from 1987. Let people gather their air. How important is the monthly open? For me, the monthly open's everything. The monthly open is why I'm so successful teaching and trading with people, because I use that as my pivot number for the month. So if the monthly open is higher, 67.25, we're trading 66.60. I'm not putting a lot of equity positions on right now because of that, okay? Everybody got that? Monthly open. That's why you look at things, oil's below its monthly open, it's going down. That's an example. Gold is above its monthly open, going up. A real quick thing to say is, what is the monthly open of anything you're trading? To take a look at it. What's the worst mistake traders make? Everybody's got a lot of different ones. This is what I'm going to say. Getting into a trade outside your plan. That's the worst mistake you can make. In other words, all of a sudden you hear, this is good, and you go do something, you end up losing money, okay? Everybody got that? Have a plan. That's what we're here to do, doing. Williams is not following me, thank you, William. But really, the worst mistake, we're going to have a plan. Let's be decisive, but at the same time, let's have a plan. What tools does DTI have that we developed that helps you navigate any market turmoils? Two answers here. The roadmap software, roadmap to the markets. I can't trade without it. I'm looking at it right now. I got all my numbers, and I can look around and see exactly what everything means by looking at it. And the second one is MTI by DTI. It's something we developed for a quick and dirty slide, okay? Pretty good stuff, huh? So now these are the 10 questions. If you tune in, I've got a lot more questions this week I will pose to you throughout each and every day. Stay with me. Train and trade tomorrow. I'll have some questions for you. Does people like what I'm doing here to teach you about stuff like this? Does this help you think about things? Huh? This is what I'm trying to do, is show you to have a process, part of my process. Let's talk Futures Plus education. My experience in futures goes back over 40 years. The reason I'm talking about futures, every one of you need to be with me in the futures and learn about it. I owned a brokerage firm. I've been a member of CME. I've taught futures for years. I think that I can teach you things you won't get out of the textbook from the School of Hard Knocks. I was part of the team that brought the DAX to America. The DAX is the German Dow, another way of saying that. It's up right now 0.29%, relatively not doing as well as the U.S. market. Keep your eye on it. It will be the first thing that breaks. If we go higher, it will go higher. If it breaks lower, you know what time of night that happens? Take a guess what time of night that Dancing with the DAX becomes a reality. I'm going to give it to you. 4:30, RB2 is when the DAX becomes a reality, 4:30. Think about that. Love that DAX. I was a key marketer for it when they brought it to America, CME, and helped it introduce the DAX to the retail market in America. A great experience of my life, working with the Eurex Exchange, working with CME, working with all the exchanges out of Chicago. I got selected to do that, and I learned a lot about what I call dancing with the DAX. If you ever watched a Fed meeting, the DAX always moves first. I don't know if you knew that. There's an insight for you. Write it down. I was one of only 50 people outside of Chicago hand selected to have an electronic trading terminal called Globex. This allowed me to see the market way before everybody else did electronically. Learn the power of news, learning everything about it. This is something that gave me an edge, really brought me back from 1987, but it allowed me personally to learn this 24-hour market. I quit teaching futures about 5-7 years ago. I started back about 2 years ago by request, and I love it. I love teaching people what I know about this market called futures. I trade it personally. I didn't think I'd talk much about futures in the futures, but I do. I do it every day through the E-mini. 2 years ago, that changed. I put a course together at the request of students, and you need to learn. You got to learn what I can teach you. If you don't do everything else, you get with me and learn about futures, and all of a sudden, your accuracy will go up. Your risk will go down, and you will be able to grow your account because I will teach you what it takes around the clock to use futures. I rebuilt our whole futures education program. It now includes options on futures. I love options on futures. I started hosting weekly sessions for a small group of committed traders. We meet every Monday night at 7. We expand our education. I lay out what I would consider the hot market of the week and how to take it. All sessions are recorded. The top students of those classes swear how it's revolutionary. I have a guy, Dave was here talking about silver. Dave started futures trading about 4 weeks ago, and it's amazing how all that other stuff out there gets pushed to the wayside. He just crank it. Likes that silver. In fact, learning futures has grown his account substantially. I taught him what he needed to know, and he's still learning. Bill said, known me for over 15 years, you want to learn, you ought to learn from me. This guy's been with me a long time. I talked to him prior to doing this presentation. One of our great students. He's the one that created over there in the right-hand corner what I call the DTI salute. We make money. If we're all together, we'll all stand up and do that. It's pretty funny. He's the guy. Ron sent this love letter. Each day using my pivot number, and I saw people talking about it, keeps him safe whether the market's going up, down, or out. Knowing the pivot number, the place to buy or the place to sell, is so valuable to you. You don't have to listen to CNBC. You don't have to listen to anything. If you got that pivot number and know where the S&P is trading to it, I give it to you free every day. Take advantage of that. Tonight, we have a few. I've got something new I'm bringing to the table. I want you to listen. How many people would like me, Tom Busby, to show you how, with 3 simple steps, you can learn to trade what I call the micro E-mini? How many people would like that, to educate yourself and lower your risk through 3 simple steps? You got to know the time. I'm going to teach you that. I'm going to teach you. Matter of fact, I'm going to have my first class on that later on tonight at 9. I was thinking, let's make it simple. I'll show you what to look for. Well, folks, it's coming, and it's coming less than an hour from now. 3 steps, not the Texas 2-step, but the T-Bus 3-step is going to show you how to take that in this particular market and grow your account. Now, you got to have a futures account. Now, here's a list of some of the classes we held so far. Look at all these classes we taught online. E-mini options, using options with futures, using gold options, education on how to sell puts and create income or calls on gold futures, using spreads with futures. By the way, did you know you can trade futures 25 times in a small account? You don't get a pattern day trade rule. Why is that? Because the farmers run futures. They're like Sounder Bunch, the farmers, rather than those Wall Street guys. Crude oil, I told you it's going to 45. It's en route for going to 45. Make some money there. I'll show you the trade. I think it's the trade of the year. Bonds, they're going higher. I got a strategy there. It's 1% strategy. It seems to be working pretty good. Not too late. They're going a lot higher as we go through this interest rate cycle. About the tune of about 40%. Gold and silver together, working in together. E-mini and micro together. Telegram channel. We have a Telegram channel for this where we reach out to you throughout the week with key information. I used the Tasty Trade platform to teach it because it's so simple to use. The Tasty Trade bracket order is a very good way to go into any futures market and know how much you're going to lose, how much you're going to make. Pretty powerful stuff. MTI and roadmap, I'll show you how that plays into things. I call it futures first because it's so much more. Understanding futures is gateway to the rest of the stock market. In fact, the E-mini relates to the SPY. If you trade the SPY, you better learn the E-mini. Trade the QQQ, you better learn the NASDAQ. If you trade the Dow, you better learn the Dow future. If you trade crude oil, or if you trade USO, you better learn crude oil. If you trade silver, you better learn silver futures. If you trade bonds, you better learn TLT. This is how it works. They're correlated, and futures is always moving first before the stocks move. That's why I call it futures first. If the E-mini goes up, the SPY goes up. Go look at the SPY tonight. It's higher than where it was Friday afternoon because the E-mini's up. E-mini goes down, the SPY goes down. Simple concept, but it works. Futures Plus education class is ongoing. I'm continuing expanding our library every Monday night at 7 o'clock. We record it. So if you get the recording, you can do some good, can't you? The format for Futures Plus, we train on Monday night. And then at 9 o'clock that night, out of what I call the 7 sisters, I will highlight one of the futures market, and you go and you take the video, and this is how you trade it for the week. Pretty simple concept, but it works. I told you market turmoil. The E-mini was down 3.5%. The VIX was up 25 just on Friday. Nobody knows what it's going to do tomorrow, but I can tell you this. In the short term, the reference bars and futures are a marriage made in heaven. The annual cost is $17.49 for my online version, but I wanted to do something special. I wanted to do something tonight, not only for the existing members, but for any new members, so take advantage of it. That's the annual cost, $17.49 online, worth every cent of it. Because of the market turmoil, and I want to teach what I'm doing, and I'm going to have a lot of FaceTime with you this week. You can sign up if you're an existing member for another year, and new members can sign up at this heavily discounted price. But you got to act tonight. We start at 9 o'clock. You can join for $12.49 for a year. Notice I say it's a limited time offer. So If you're a current member, you want to add a year, do it tonight. I put this price because of this market turmoil, and I wanted to make sure that everybody that was out there could get in for a solid year with me to learn this stuff. That is a bargain. Yes, you can buy multiple years at this price tonight if you want to. Limited time offer. It includes 1 year of online trading, all the recordings, everything that's going to happen. It includes a bonus 5 master classes on Delta trading strategies. And this week only, you go to Telegram each night at 9 o'clock. Don't like scholarships, here it is. 9 o'clock for the Futures Edge for the next 24 hours. Goals included too. You got to buy this. You got to buy it. This is totally outside the goal. This is $12.49. Add to it if you want it. Any questions about it? Limited time offer. I've discounted it way down if people want to join. Now, if you're going to join, put your name and email in here where we make sure you get invited to that class tonight at 9 o'clock. Okay? If you're going to join. Tell me you're going to join. If all the existing members will get an email. This includes the existing members, but if you're all right, Roz, they'll get you in there. Good. Folks, take advantage of this. People in my futures know this is a bargain. Big bargain. 1 year. I never offered it this low, but I'm doing it tonight. We're going to take advantage of this market turmoil, right, David? I'll teach those 3 simple steps tonight. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you. Take advantage of it. Neil said, this is a gift. I just joined for an extra year. Way to go, Neil. Smart. David just joined for another year. Wow. These are existing players saying this is too good to pass up. I got it. Join. Any other questions? Everybody's going to know the T-Buzz 3-step at 9 o'clock. Don't worry, if you don't have a futures account, you'll have one in the next couple of days at Tasty Trade. You'll be able to take advantage of it this week. Simple, it's straight, it's easy to understand. Way to go. Good, way to go. Anybody got any other questions for me? Way to go, Miles. I mean, they know how good it is. This is unbelievable I did it. I just felt like market turmoil. I went through the crash of 1987. This is where the value proposition, the cream rises to the top on a week like this is going to be. We're going to take advantage of it. That's exactly what we're going to do. You've asked me that question 10 times. Did you join my futures? Well, join my futures. I know the exact number. Exact number. Too bad. You need about $2,000, okay?